Sorry, guys, just to set up this. Good morning, all. Are you all awake? Yes? Familiar faces in the crowd right now. So I'm Cláudia. It's glad to be back to Coimbra. So this is my hometown, and I also graduated here in computer science. But you are the experts now. So I'm talking to you about bias in data, bias in IT, and how bias will impact the future and your role in future to that analysis and to make a better world on that. Disclaimer, I'm not an expert in these areas. I work with women in tech to promote more women inside the IT roles. Why? Because we need diversity. And you say, oh no, not again, we need more women in IT. But it's true. Because if you see over here in the crowd, how many women in IT are here? Can you see the percentage? It's really, really, really low. And why? Because we are not promoting this since early ages. So a little bit of my background. When we talk about diversity, we talk about how we have all the dimensions of diversity. Easily, we'll talk about gender, male or female, but there are very and enormous dimensions inside diversity. So I'm going to introduce myself with the diverse dimensions that we have. So I'm a woman, I'm a computer science girl, I'm a mother of 3, I'm Portuguese. I was born in a small town in the country, in Portugal country, where we didn't have access to IT in the time. So I was with 14 years old, trying to figure it out, what was a computer at the time. I'm 47 right now. So you can imagine back then, we had no cell phones, we had nothing, we don't have, well, we talk about internet, but it was something very, very, very far away. So how I am in IT right now? Because I experienced that. And why? Because I have the community and I have the society surrounding me that put me in that place. And you may ask, how? My father was an engineer at the time, and he needed the computer to draw simple maps. And he bought one. You can imagine how the cost of the personal computers back in 90s. So it was very, very, very expensive. And when he brought that to home, I was experiencing the computer and how we're going to talk with that machine, okay? But at the time, when I enter in the phase that I need to decide what kind of things that I'm going to do in life, later in university, all the things and all the tests send me to medicine, okay? 98% of my tests were sending me to medicine. And I went to IT, to a professional course where everybody was a male at the time and I was the only female. My directors in the school tried to pull me out of that class because I was a waste in that class. But I stayed. Because we have the stereotype that when you go into professional courses, you are trying to go to something or achieve something immediately to work, and you don't have the ability, you don't have the skills to pursue a career or to pursue a major in university. This is the stereotype, the wrong stereotype that we have. So I stayed and then I went to the university. I was not such a great student, as I may say, because I like to talk with people. I like to understand people. I like to network. I like to go to events. I like to organize things. And I didn't see that in IT at the time. I see very focused people, a lot of male professors and a lot of male colleagues. At the time that I was almost going to the market and to corporate, I was scared because I thought that I was not so smart as my colleagues, or I cannot deliver, or I not envision what I'm going to do in the future. And this is also stereotypes that we have at the time Now we have more information, but at the time we have these kind of stereotypes and information of succeeding role models in these male-dominated fields as male. Because if I ask you and raise your hands, I know that you are not Portuguese public, but raise your hand if you think of a female founder of a startup tech company who, do you know someone, female? You can raise your hand. Raise your hand if you think, okay. Lower your hand. Do you know some female CEOs that raise a startup company, that founded a startup company in IT? Okay, lower your hand if this woman has a disability. So you remain your hands, and if you know someone that has a disability and in IT that raise a company, just lower your. Do you know it? Okay, see, but there is. We have actually one person from Leiria, a town next to Coimbra that raised a company and founded a company for disability people in IT. So created a platform to create more inclusive spaces for people with disabilities. But you don't know it. And why don't you know these kind of platforms, these kind of people that are doing such great things in IT and female? Because these kind of information are not amplified in the algorithms that we use every day. Okay, so let's just see a little trailer. Okay, we don't have sound. Can we use the sound? Well, you can guess, right? Everyone knows this series, TV series? Big Guys. I'm sorry? Okay, so we need to just pull over this because we didn't share with sound, apparently. So can we get back, because we have a lot of sounds over here in the videos. Can we get back just, okay, can we do this right now? Okay, because otherwise this will, okay, let's go.
Would you like to hear another reason why men are better than women?
Sure, let's make it an even 100.
You would never kiss me and make me say I love you and then break up with me.
I wouldn't.
And you know why? Why? Because you're a man, the champagne of genders.
I may be a man, but I think I'm the one that screwed up on this one.
Yeah, well, and you admit it, like a man. Element should be called radium. That last one was Madame Curie.
I'll figure that out.
She had a penis made of science.
I believe I'm spending my way.
Okay, did you see here the stereotype? So everyone, when we think of stereotypes, this is conceptions that we have all life. This is not about men or women. This is not about gender, because we are humans, right? If we are women, humans, so we have these unconscious bias that we deal with that all our life and we don't know how. And why this happens? Why this happens? It's just because we have a brain, this is a muscle, and we consume bits and bits and bits of information every single day by our eyes, by what we hear, by the society, by the touch, the feelings that we have, we do these kind of conceptions. And how? Imagine that our brain, it's like a drawer with little boxes. So everything that we see and we know, we put it in the boxes with the label that we know, we categorize them, okay? So we have a lot of boxes of things that we know that is similar to us. So when we saw fear, we recognize the fear, right? We don't need to go to check the box to know if we are in front of a lion, we need to run. So these kind of things is the conceptions that we have in our brain. When we saw things that are not natural to us, that are not in the society that we live, that is different to us, we try to work around and put that in a category in our brain. And that's where the unconscious bias starts to rise, okay? And let's see when this starts to happen.
As a girl, I'm expected to be your little princess. As a boy, I'm expected to be your hero. I'm supposed to play with dolls and look pretty. I'm supposed to play sports and act tough. Crying makes people think I'm hormonal. Crying makes people think I'm weak. If I spend more time at work than at home, I lack devotion. If I spend more time at home than at work, I lack devotion. People will question my sexuality if I choose to join the army. People will question my sexuality if I choose to be a nurse. I'm expected to define myself as a boy or as a girl.
Now the easy part. This is the bias that we know, and you as a programmers, you as a coders, as a leaders in the company, as the IT people doing business, know this kind of bias. The problem is the ones that are hidden, the ones that we don't know, the ones that you're going to see in the databases after a lot of tests, a lot of efforts. And why? Because the data sets that we have nowadays are biased. Who knows that? Everybody knows that. Who had to code something and face it by after testing and testing to see that the code was biased? No one? Really? Try to do some kind of insurance application or application for a loan. These are the kind of data sets that are really, really biased. Probably we heard a lot more because of the United States, because they have actually this kind of a system different from the Europe and the one that are really scrutinized, but they are biased because the information that we have, the tone of the skin, the people, the background of the people, where they live, what they are doing, the consuming they are doing in the stores, all of that is putting in a database. Our data is there. So people with minorities have actually lower rates in the loans and the insurance rather than the white males, and also the white people and the white males against females and against women in other minorities. But this is actually, we want to talk about diversity in our teams and how we're going to create more products for good and actually use the technology for good. Why does that matter? Report shows that the companies that have diverse teams outperform by 12% the ones that don't have. So this is not just a nice to have, or not just a buzzword or a trend that we have. It's actually business. If it's not for the more equitative world, or for the good, as we say, as the humans for the good, it's business, because money talks, right? So if you cannot just give people to the right directions for the right reasons, we can show them money, and we can show them money about that. And diversity in innovation and in IT is really, really, really crucial. Who remembers like a failure in the IT products in the market recently? No one's? You? Do you want to speak? Sorry? Twitter, Twitter, X, yeah. So a lot of, if you know, the person that was responsible for the human rights and diversity in Twitter just left with a lot of people also, and founded the T2. So it's another social they are trying to found with with less biases in the algorithms. But yes, this is another one. But I'm going to show something that it's really, really close to us, and sometimes we don't notice. And could be in IT or could be in our real life. Okay? Did you ever try to go to a bathroom and try to wash your hands, and you have the thumbs over there and you try like this? Yeah. Sometimes you don't succeed, right? Yeah. You have a sensor over there. And you have good sensors and you have bad sensors. It's like you have good computers or bad computers or fast computers or slow computers. It's the same. So you invest a little bit in the algorithm or in the sensors actually, because it's a light, to try to read your hands. But if what happened curiously in the United States, it was a speaker that was in a conference like this one. And two speakers went to the bathroom at the same time in the hotel. And it was a white male and a black male. The white male could actually get the dish soap, the soap of these kind of machines, the dispenser, but the black one didn't. The same dispenser. And they start to laugh and recorded a video and put it on the internet because they say the soap dispenser, it was racist. Actually, the sensor that was used in the dispenser was not the best one, and it was not tested to all kinds of skins. It's the same when you try to do your fingerprint. The fingerprint from white are different from the fingerprint from the black man. The sensors don't read it the same way. Let's say it put this way, don't read it the same way. So that's why we have to have a diverse team to see all dimensions of diversity over here. Who went to ATM recently? Yeah. Back in time in Portugal, when we saw the ATMs, they were like this tall. Okay, so you almost had to put your in your finger toes to get cash. No one at the time remembered to put it lower ones for the people with wheelchairs, because the study they went through, it was with the median height of people of Portugal. No. So we never thought that people with wheelchair has their own life and need to get catch. Did you ever see this kind of lipstick? Did you buy this kind of lipstick? No. And why? How many men do you see in the streets put lipstick while they are walking, or they are a few if you go to the north and they have a lot of cold, sometimes to protect you. But this was launched with flavor of and smell of Cheetos. I don't believe this is a flop. This was a flop, obviously, but I don't believe that was a lot of people and a lot of women over there telling them to not launch this kind of product, and millions were spent to develop this product. Millions. Another one. Let's see if I have the picture. Who has a cell phone over here? Come on, IT guys. Yeah, everyone, even the kids has a cell phone. Who struggles to just hold the cell phone with only one hand? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 women against 2 or 3 men. You know why? Because they are the conception of the cell phones are have the basis of the average of a male hand, the size of a male hand. And with that, what they do, they put the best specs in the large and the biggest cell phone. So you say, okay, we're going to do a little one, but the best specs are in the biggest ones. So if we are a small man with the hand a little bit with the size a little bit lower, or a woman, we cannot have the best specs and the best features. Another thing with cell phones. Who has Apple in your cell phone? Who is consumer? Come on, IT guys with Apple. Okay. So remember when Apple released an app for measure your health? Okay, you can have an app with your health over here. You can measure your steps. You can measure what you eat. You can measure everything. And we want to know your data. Do you remember that? So when they launched that app that you all have, so we have women and we have men that consumes that kind of device and app, they forgot to put a feature to get data for hormonal things like the period. Come on, there was not diversity enough in the team to develop this product. They took almost a year to put this feature available after that. Okay, so this when we say, okay, this is diversity and it's a hype, no, it's not. It's actually we spend millions of dollars or euros to develop a product to everybody to use, and then we miss the society that we are serving. Okay, and that also reflects in people that are launching their own business. They are trying to raise the funds, for instance, in startups, okay? Female women or people with disabilities or with other minorities don't get so much funds in Series A's and Series B's as the males. And one study was conducted that they put it, the business model of the startup without any data related to the people and to the founders. Okay, one was from female founder, and they remove all of that. And they put a female founder presenting the same business model, the same idea in the stage, and a male pitching also for investors. The male get the funded and the female didn't get it. So it was the same business model, just presented by 2 different genders. And this is because of the bias that we have. Okay, women are raised to be more empathic. Men are raised to be more bold. And because society always see at us and look at us to take care of the family, sometimes they think that we lack our goals in business. And that's why we don't get funded so well. Who drives over here? Every single day, who has a mom that drives and have a car? Okay. Did you know that the seat belts and also all the protection features that we have in the cars were obliged to put like the male human model inside the car to test the car crashes until recently? Last year, it was a law that obliged every company to do that. Because until there, the human body that you have, it was a male, and to represent a female, it was a little bit shorter. But we have different body, right? We have different physicals. body. So why? But the cars that you have riding in the streets right now, the traffic in the traffic jam, all these models were with the past laws. So it's scary, right? But it's even scary when you see the insurance, because the male has more probability to have car crashes, but the woman has more probability to die of that car crashes. Okay. Any questions so far? This is interactive session, so you can just interrupt me, ask any question if you want to. Okay. And now for your role. Who knows or who are working right now in data analysis? And who has in their company these kind of guidelines to figure it out if the data that you are dealing with every single day have some kind of biases or not for the market that you are serving? One. Okay. I'm not going to tell you that this is a thing that it's a must be. Of course, every time, and our society has using algorithms every day, but they don't notice, right? The people that are not from IT, that don't have this curiosity to know what they are doing when they go to the websites and go to the internet, they don't know what they are informing the data sets, the data that they are giving to them. For instance, they don't know when they are asking to do the puzzle to solve and to prove they are humans, they are actually teaching the machine what is a bridge or a red light or bicycles. They are teaching the machine that that object with that name probably will have some functionality. Also, they don't know when they are trying to log in and create an account with the data they are giving, they are creating a data set and they are feeding the data set to receive a lot of more information about ideas and suggestions about what they will need to buy next or what they need to do next. And with that, the data that we have so far, who go to Google and try to search for images about entrepreneurs or CEOs, what you get? Do you want to try to guess? White males, some handsome ones, because they want to attract us also for being entrepreneur. But most of them, and the first results that we get from a CEO or entrepreneur, it's male with a suit, good looking, and mostly white. But if you search for a nurse, what did you get? Women. Only women. And same as teacher. If you go to primary school teacher, you get women. But it's true. You have a lack of gender and diversity in primary schools. So they get in touch, the primary schools, they get in touch with people that are representing their moms, the caring, and not the bold ones to create a mindset of creative things, of being bold, because they are women and they are more empathic and they are more caring. So with that, who is the villain over here? I don't have the magical solution for you. One of the things that I just said previous, I want to create awareness for that. One of the things that we need to have in mind is that all data sets are biased. And we know how to treat them because Google, Microsoft, other platforms, social media, we can actually hire people to treat these biases. The problem is the hidden biases that we don't have. They have the amplification with AI, okay? And one of them is with health. Because we have bias that don't harm us. We have things in the internet or in products that don't harm us at all, because don't create the impact of life or death. But over here in health, it's really, really serious. Can you guess what this is? This is an image that I searched on Google about skin cancer, okay? And when you do that, you get almost white skin with black spots or different signs, but mainly white skins. Other colored skins get skin cancer also, not with the same probability, not with the same rate, but they have. But what people see is this. What the algorithms see is this. The data that they have is this. So if they are biased, probably when a doctor says, oh, I need to put your data in a database that it's spread all over the world and see what the probability is or the odds are of you getting something, probably you get bias over here. I was worried when my doctor said to me, I need to put your data in a database to see if I can do your surgery in that way. And I said, oh gosh, you know, because it's the eyes. And if I lose the sight, probably this will impact a lot in my life because I need to learn everything again. Who saw Barbie? Hi, Barbie. And now everybody went crazy and just went to AI generation images and AI things for everything. And they want to look like AI and like Barbie and Ken. But actually, these images were amplify stereotypes and biases about the countries. So if you see here, this is from Sudan. You see a woman with a weapon. This is the thing the AI generator image thought about a woman in Sudan, like Barbie. Stereotype, biases, yes. And really serious, because we can laugh, yeah, because we saw it and we know that it's not like that. But this is, I have other implications rather than just entertainment. Okay. Let's see if this works. To see a little bit about my work.
It started with a dream to close the gender gap in tech, and a purpose to help women embrace technology. And it turned into action. Women in Tech promotes girls and women's empowerment around the world, focusing on 4 main pillars: education, business, digital inclusion, and advocacy. This bold vision is what has united our movement across the boundaries of culture, geography, and status. Our mission is to empower 5 million women and girls in STEAM by 2030.
We do this through a number of programs and services offering skilling courses that go from digital literacy to blockchain and mentoring. Our Talent Hub brings together companies who are searching to hire diverse talent and skilled women looking for jobs or new opportunities. Today, Women in Tech is one of the world's leading organisations for inclusion, diversity and equity in STEM.
Our community counts thousands of members across the world with chapters in all 6 continents.
And thanks to our team, Women in Tech has already impacted 250,000 women across the world.
230,000 people have taken part in our events. 20,000 women have completed our education programs. 2,000 mentors and mentees have been paired. 250 computers were donated to South Africa, India, and Brazil. But more than numbers, we have impacted lives.
Our work has been recognized by presidents, ministers, and a royal princess who has given us their high patronage for our global summit and awards.
Our journey up to now has been so difficult, but it has also been paved with amazing human connections beyond my wildest dreams.
Most of our team are volunteers, giving more than just time.
We are paying it forward. We're sharing our love and our commitment within our communities.
Our strength is only greater when we come together as one.
It started with a dream.
One of the things that I do, I am ambassador for Women in Tech. We are trying to promote, as we show, more women into tech. So only in European Union, we lack 8 million profiles in IT. So we are not promoting so well the roles of IT for female in these areas. Because as myself at the time, we don't envision what we're going to do with tech. Everything is technology nowadays. You can go to lawyers, you can go to medical areas, but you need technology in your life. You need to understand technology, even though you are not coding the technology, but you need to understand them. And this is the bias that we are trying to break over here and the stereotype of gender in technology. This is my volunteer work for the last 5 years, but to put food on the table, I work for Siemens. And we have actually a motto that is IT for good and IT for sustainability. And with that, we have actually a hackathon for female science girls that want to join. I'm going to put that in the Slack to make a call to action to apply to solve 5 pillars we have in these areas. And you can actually earn prize money on that, okay? So one of the things that I want to have a call to action for you is like, I didn't give you the solutions how to identify biases in text-to-speech or how we're going to translate, or the translators that we have in AI, or the images in AI or whatever, but Google it for good. Try fact check on the information that you get, but you get a lot of information, how these biases are amplified in the data analysis, in the data that you're going to deal with your life in IT, okay? Because it's nowadays we have also communities that are getting together, researchers that are getting together to create databases, trying to create databases without bias, or in the way to get, they don't have biases. Search, join your work and create awareness in the companies that you have that diverse teams are necessary. If you find yourself as a leader in a team that are not diverse, that don't have the dimensions of diversity, just ask yourself what the HR is doing and request for diversity in your teams. As a leader, we try and tend to hire people that are close to us, that we can relate it with. But I don't want a mini-me in my team. I want two people who ask questions, who is annoying, who lead me to question myself and my decisions. Okay? So think ahead, and thank you for listening. Any questions?